Good morning. I am Ma'am Grace Ulitukit, your English teacher in grade 7. Today, we are going to discuss the last module in quarter 4, which is informative essay. But before that, let us have first a short review of our previous discussion. In our learning activity sheet, lesson 7, we have talked about the short story theme. We defined short story theme as a general message about life or human nature that the author wants to convey. Since a theme is rarely stated overtly by the author, the reader must question and examine the story's details to unlock it. In order to find the theme of the story, you may ask yourself, what's the main idea? What's the short version of the story? Once you're comfortable speaking on each of these elements, it's time to dive into the theme. These are the 3 questions that will help you unearth the theme. The first question is, what problem is the main character facing? The second question is, what lesson did the character learn? And the third one is, what message can you take away from the story? The more you read, the more you will spot some of the popular literary themes. The common themes include compassion, courage, death and dying, honesty, loyalty, perseverance, importance of family, benefits of hard work, power of love, friendship, revenge, and redemption. Let us now move forward to our topic, which is writing an informative essay. At the end of our lesson, you are expected to define informative essay, identify the features of an informative essay, and compose an informative essay. Let us start our lesson with this activity. I will be reading 2 excerpts, and you will identify the differences between these 2 texts. Let me read the text number 1. Fast food is tasty, but is it good for you? People must avoid eating fast food as it provides very little nutrition, slowly makes one fat, and eventually causes many health problems. Fast food may taste great, but it is not worth risking one's health. We must all make a wise choice to eat healthy, to lead happy and productive lives. And this is text number 2. Antibiotics were invented by Alexander Fleming in 1928. Antibiotics are chemical substances produced by various microorganisms and other living systems and capable of inhibiting the growth of dangerous bacteria and viruses. Before the epoch of antibiotics began, there was not much that could be done for patients suffering from different infections, and death rates were much higher than today. Let us analyze the differences between the 2 texts. Yes, the first text tells the people to avoid eating fast food. It encourages them to make a wise choice to eat healthy food. It persuades. While the second text informs us what antibiotics are. The first excerpt is from a persuasive essay, and the second excerpt is from an informative essay. Today, we will be discussing about informative essay. Let us now move forward to the discussion of informative essay. Today, you are going to find out what an informative essay is, the features of an informative essay, and the steps on how are you going to write an informative essay. Looking at these pictures, we can easily identify what an informative writing is. It is giving information and also explaining. Informative writing is nonfiction, meaning it is based on facts. Informative writing teaches the reader about a certain topic. It has a topic sentence, it gives facts about the topic, and it has a conclusion. An informative essay educates the readers by imparting straightforward information and facts, but never personal opinions. Typically, these essays will answer one of the five W's: who, what, where, when, and why. Of course, they can also answer how, indicating how to do something. This is an example of an informative text coming from the World Health Organization. Let me read the content of the text. Coronavirus disease, or the so-called COVID-19, is an infectious disease caused by a newly discovered coronavirus. Most people infected with COVID-19 virus will experience mild to moderate respiratory illness and recover without requiring special treatment. Older people and those with underlying medical problems like cardiovascular disease, diabetes, chronic respiratory disease, and cancer are more likely to develop serious illness. The best way to prevent and slow down transmission is to be well informed about the COVID-19 virus, the disease it causes, and how it spreads. Protect yourself and others from infection by washing your hands or using an alcohol-based rub frequently and not touching your face. The COVID-19 virus spreads primarily through droplets of saliva or discharge from the nose when an infected person coughs or sneezes. So, it's important that you also practice respiratory etiquette. For example, by coughing into a flexed elbow. What does the paragraph talk about? Yes, it is all about coronavirus disease or COVID-19. What information does it give? COVID-19 is an infectious disease caused by coronavirus. Being infected will cause mild to moderate respiratory illnesses. The best way to prevent and slow down transmission is to be well informed everything about COVID-19. Take note that in writing an informative essay, make sure that it has basis. You do research before writing an informative essay. Remember to cite your sources. Informative essay is interesting enough. It may move readers to learn more about a certain subject or topic. Let us now find out the features of an informative essay. As what other essays have, informative essay also has introduction, body, and conclusion. Introduction is vital in order to catch the reader's attention. That is, make him or her want to hang on to reading your essay. The introductory paragraph in an informative essay will usually start with a strong sentence. When writing an informative essay, you should, of course, open with the hook. It's the first sentence of your essay, and therefore, it has to be curious enough to tempt the reader. Every informative essay is based on a great thesis. Its objective is to give a sort of navigation for your essay and steers you on the right path. Thesis lets readers be familiar with what they're going to read about. This is the final sentence of the introduction segment. It should be specific, authoritative, and explanatory. Now that you have a solid, informative, and stimulating introduction, it's time to start with the body paragraphs. The main aim of this section is to give a deeper exploration into your topic. It is also your opportunity to grab the attention of the audience with solid facts, statistics, statements, and other supporting details. The body will be several paragraphs long, comprising the bulk of the essay. This is where you'll provide further details about the main idea. Be sure you delve deeply into every area previously outlined in the introduction. After you have explained or defined the subject with solid proof, you are ready to conclude the work. It is also your opportunity to summarize the essay in a paragraph or two. Just like the introduction, this part should be relatively short but still strong enough not to ruin everything you have mentioned above. In informative essay writing, conclusions should be exact and consistent. The main rule you should follow is that the closing part of the essay should cover the justification of how the reader can benefit from the conclusions. Before you sit down and write your essay, there are some necessary steps to take and items to prepare beforehand. Having a set plan allows you to organize information effectively, and this dramatically speeds up the entire essay writing process. Let us proceed to the discussion of the guideposts in writing an informative essay. In this guidepost, we are going to have four parts. The first is preparing to write. Second, starting to write. Third, writing the body of the essay. And lastly, finalizing the essay. Before writing an informative essay, choose a topic accordingly. Regardless of the chosen topic, brainstorming is the way forward for the top result when learning how to start an informative essay successfully. Organize your idea by using a concept web. Start your essay with an introduction. Use the following questions as your guide in writing. What kind of introduction would you like to use? A quotation, question, or a simple story related to the theme? What theme do you need to have in mind? What parts of your introduction are necessary in the essay? Are there parts that are not related to the theme? Did you write an introduction which steers the interests of the readers? Write the body of the essay by going over your list of ideas. Organize them into paragraphs and use the following questions as your guide in writing. What are the bigger ideas that you have in your concept web? What are the supporting ideas that will support the bigger ideas? Which ideas are not related at all? What are the most important ideas and the least important ideas? Did you organize the essay from the most to the least important ideas? Did your paragraph present a clear flow of ideas? Or are the ideas scattered and difficult to understand? Finalize your essay by writing a conclusion that will be remembered by the readers. Use the following questions as your guide in writing. How will you end the essay? Will you leave a challenge to the readers? Will you use quotation or a question? Did you summarize the main points of the essay? What words in your conclusion will be remembered by the readers? Just bear in mind the questions provided as your guidepost in writing an informative essay. Writing an informative essay requires you to examine your sources well, and that, when composing, you need to convey ideas and information thoroughly. This will be achieved clearly and accurately through the effective selection, organization, and analysis of content. And for you to easily memorize the content of your informative essay, you can make use of this picture as your guide. Let me read to you a sample essay with introduction, body, and conclusion. Why the school year must be shorter? For the introduction, the school year is too long. and should be shortened to benefit students and teachers, save districts money, and improve test scores and academic results. Other countries have shorter school years and achieve better results. Let's proceed to the body. A shorter school year would benefit students and teachers by giving them more time off. Students and teachers would be able to spend more time with their families. Teachers would be refreshed and rejuvenated and able to teach more effectively. A shorter school year would save schools millions of pesos each year. Schools could save money on energy costs by keeping schools closed longer. A shorter school year means much lower supply and transportation costs. Well-rested and happy students would help improve test scores. Shortening the school year would also provide many benefits for parents and guardians. A shorter school year would mean less stress and running around for parents. Guardians or caregivers would have more balance in their lives with fewer days in the school year. Let us now proceed to the conclusion. The school year is too long and should be shortened to benefit students and teachers, save schools money, and improve test scores and academic results. Other countries have shorter school years and achieve better results. Now, for our next activity, just identify if the following excerpts from the essay are informative or not. Let's begin. Number 1. Perhaps, since I am a high school student, somebody might say that I have my entire life ahead of me, with all of its beautiful experiences. But despite being so young, I already have a personal, breathtaking experience, which I will carry with me until my last days. What I am talking about here is my first hike to mountains. Is this an example of an informative text? Very good. It is not an informative text. The excerpt tells a story about his experiences during his first hike to the mountains. Historically, the word Halloween is a contraction from the phrase All Hallows Even, which meant the day before All Hallows Day. It is a Catholic holiday dedicated to the two of saints and martyrs for faith. Today, though we know it more as a holiday of trick-or-treating, scary costumes and entourage and funny pranks. Gradually, Halloween has lost its religious connotations and has turned onto a holiday gladly celebrated by youth and adults across the Western world on October 31. How about this text number 2? Is it an informative essay? Yes, it is. This text is an example of an informative text because it gives us information on how Halloween was derived. Let's proceed to the last example of text. Living in the city is hard, even for those who were born in the industrialized environment of crowded streets, huge supermarkets, crammed subways, and polluting factories. I was born in and raised in Dallas, so I know firsthand about heavy traffic and five-level interchange roads. This one, what do you think? Is it informative or not? Yes, you're correct. It is not an example of an informative text. This one tells a story about the experience on living in the city. Using the hamburger organizer, identify the introduction, the evidences that make up the body, and the conclusion of the given informative essay. I will be reading to you the sample informative essay wherein you are going to identify the introduction, the evidences that make up the body, and of course, the conclusion. The Filipino mind is one of the world's best, one of the humanity's great assets. The Filipino is capable of greatness, of making great sacrifices for the greater good of the least of our people. Joseph Billo is an example of this. Billo has a master's and doctoral degrees from one of the top universities in the Philippines, the De La Salle University, Taft, Manila, where she used to teach rich college students and was paid well for it. But Dr. Billo left all that and all the glamour of Manila and chose to teach in a faraway public school in a rural area in the province, receiving the salary of less than 300 US dollars a month. When asked why she did that, she replied, "But who will teach our children?" In recognition of the rarity of her kind, the world-famous Massachusetts Institute of Technology, or the MIT in the United States, honored Dr. Billo, a very rare honor, by naming a small and new discovered planet in our galaxy as Billo. The Filipino is one of the humanity's best examples on the greatness of human spirit. It's now your time to complete the hamburger organizer.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
This is how you should identify the text. And this is how you should accomplish your hamburger organizer. For the red one, that should be the introduction. For the green, the evidences. And the yellow one is the conclusion. That ends our discussion. Can you now complete this statement?
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
It's quiz time! Your quiz is just a true or false text. You're going to read the given statements and write true if the statement is correct and false if the statement is wrong. Number 1. Before writing an informative essay, choose a topic accordingly. The correct answer is true. Number 2. Start your essay with an introduction. Is it true or false? That's right. That is true. So the first part of your essay is introduction. Number 3, the main aim of the introduction is to give a deeper exploration into your topic. True or false? That is false because the part that gives deeper exploration into your topic is the so-called body of your essay. Number 4, finalize your essay by writing a conclusion that will be remembered by the readers. Is it true or false? Of course, true. So you have to make a conclusion which will be remembered by your readers. And for the last number, number 5, an informative essay educates readers by imparting straightforward information and facts, but never personal opinions. Is it true or false? Certainly true. So that is the definition of informative essay. It consists of information and facts and never personal opinions of the author. For your assignment, you are going to write your own informative essay with introduction, body, and conclusion. Make sure that you do research for factual information. Choose one among the following topics. Number 1, COVID-19. Number 2, modular distance learning. And number 3, health protocols. You can make use of the hamburger organizer for you to clearly identify the introduction, the evidences as part of the body, and of course, the conclusion. Use the following rubrics as your guide in writing an essay. Being guided by these rubrics will make sure that you will be able to write a comprehensive and effective informative essay. In your informative essay, make sure that you have to give importance to the following: the content, the relevance to the theme, the proper use of the language, readability, and of course, the organization of your thoughts.